So now that I've adjusted the color balance of my image and I've gotten rid of all my labels, I want to make sure that my background is a pure white. And this might look white to you, but one good way to check is, again, you use your eyedropper tool. And if in the RGB channels it's not all the way out to 255 on all of the channels, then that means that's not white. So the way we're going to do that is, first I'm going to delete this object right here. And again, I'm just going to use Edit Fill Foreground Color. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Control A to select all, Control C, Control V. And now I have two identical layers, and I'm going to use this layer to just, with the Magic Wand tool, I'm just going to select everything that's that color. And what the Magic Wand tool does is, any adjacent pixel that is within the same threshold of color, like for example the tolerance right now is 32, so it will accept pixels that are not exactly the same color but that are close. For example, if we look here in the bottom, it's actually grabbing like some slightly gray tone pixels with the white, but they're close enough that it's within that tolerance. If I made my tolerance all the way to 0, it would actually only select exactly identical color pixels. And again, to add to my selection, I just hold the Shift key while I'm clicking. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead, and while this layer is selected and all of these pixels are selected, I'm going to create a layer mask. And what that does is that in this drawing, it masks everything except what was selected. So for example, if I just hide my underneath layer, you can see that the only thing active in this layer that I can see is that slightly white space that we had selected. And since it's on top of my background layer, I can modify it any way I want, independent from my background layer. So everything on the mask that is black, you cannot see, and everything on the mask that is white is visible. So with the original image selected here, I'm going to go to Adjustment Levels, and now I can go crazy and make them super white if I want to, because it's not going to affect the layer below, which is the layer that has all my colors. So, oops, the other one. So now we're going to make this completely white. And you can see, if I switch this layer on and off now, this is making this a lot whiter. And again, I can check with my eyedropper tool. And yes, it's all the way out to 255 on every channel, so that's perfect. Now if I wanted to save this as a Photoshop file and keep these layers, I can do that. But for this exercise, I just want to export this as a whole image. So I'm going to hit Control E to embed that layer into my previous layer, my background layer. So now it's all one layer with the changes applied to it. And I'm just going to export this image. Oops, and I actually want to export it as a PNG file. And now our image is ready to be imported into Illustrator.